This video is brought to you by
Cool Grain Clothing. We done gone worldwide and we coming straight out of Baltimore. Come on down, shop with us at 215 West Saratoga Street. And if you can't come and shop with us in person, go online right now at coolgrainclothing.com and make your purchase. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you ain't cool and getting the green, you're in the way, and that's just basic.
What's going on, YouTube, fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of the Baltimore Way, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For the day one, fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, feel free to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. Before I get started, I want to give a shout out to the fan member who requested this video. I definitely appreciate the love and support. I try to check out all the comments. I try to get to as many as I can, but y'all know I can't get to everybody, so y'all be patient. But let's get right into the story. When two people decide to have a child together, it can be a beautiful thing. And no matter the circumstances of the individuals, new life is always a blessing. In a lot of cases, whether in a relationship or just kicking it, when a man and woman lay down and choose not to protect themselves, it's because they feel a strong connection and are okay with the outcome if a pregnancy does occur. Now we all know that's not always the case. Some have babies young and are still babies themselves, or even if they are grown-ups, they are just irresponsible. But once the child is here, it's no going back. Some people grow closer once the baby comes, and others drift away. Regardless of what though, at least for the next 18 years, y'all are now stuck with at least communicating and co-parenting. Now moving on to a new relationship with a baby mother or baby father, that's the tricky part. You have people that don't want no other man or woman around their child, or individuals that feel like once y'all share a child together, they will forever have you, no matter who you are with. For the new person, you have to be cautious walking into that situation. Know exactly what you are dealing with. Find out if the relationship is really over. Even if they are still casually getting it in, that's definitely a problem and a red flag for most. To be like, nah, I'm good. But of course, men lie and women lie. No one is going to come out and say, yeah, I'm still smashing my child's other parent, or they pay bills here. But that's playing a dangerous game. While some can handle another individual being in the home their kids lay their heads at, others feel like that's a violation. And depending on the individuals, things can take a turn for the worse. And on this episode of the Baltimore Way, we'll be taking it all the way back to 2012 to discuss the case of a man who lost it after going to his baby mother's house and catching her smashing another man. Back in 2012, Darryl Augustus was a 21-year-old man navigating life in Baltimore. Coming from a good family and a good home, Darryl stayed out the way and out of trouble. And early on, he found his passion, basketball. At 6'4", over 200 pounds, he played in high school at Calvert Hall, where he later graduated from, before then attending college for a little bit. Darryl was stepping to the work world, working his way up at a furniture company, Price Busters in Baltimore. He became a manager. With a decent job, he also had a steady girlfriend, a young lady who we will call Jasmine for the sake of the story. Jasmine was a registered nurse, so the two with their incomes together made good money, enough to have a decent home they shared in Baltimore County. Things were going good for the young man. Having a decent job with a life partner to navigate with, the world was at his feet. Being a tall guy with charm, a young man, and a manager at the store where a lot of women visited, Darryl definitely would have his pick of the litter when it came to females. Even though in a relationship with that much temptation, like most young people, before they realize it's not much out here, he would fall victim. When a woman named Brittany one day entered the store, the two started feeling each other and exchanged numbers. They got together from time to time to do their thing, but it wasn't nothing serious, and Brittany was a little older. She had kids, but being his sneaky link, Darryl wasn't concerned and didn't ask much about her situation or baby father. On May 25th, 2012, He got off work and took the company truck that he often drove. He decided to go celebrate his birthday with his cousin. While hanging out, they had a few drinks. It got later into the night, and he called Jasmine around 2 a.m. He told her he would be home before she got off, which was at 5 a.m. She told him to have fun and she would see him later. As Darryl and his cousin was wrapping it up, he told him like, yo, I'm about to be out. His peoples asked, like, what you about to do, cuz? Take it in? But he stated, no, I'm gonna go catch Shorty, Brittany. She live out the county, close to White Marsh. His cousin told him, okay, bet, and the two parted ways. Darryl headed to Nottingham, Maryland, to Brittany's apartment. It was early into the morning. As they chilled and got in the mix, keys was heard in the door, and somebody twisted the doorknob. Seconds later, a man walked in. He was at the time 34-year-old Lennell Ellis. He asked Brittany, like, why you got your in here around my kids, before then turning his attention to Darryl. Taught to not be confrontational, Darryl attempted to grab his stuff and just leave. But Lennell upped the knife and came at the man. Darryl was now stabbed in the leg. He fell, and then Lennell and Brittany panicked, realizing he was leaking bad, as he had been hit in the main artery. Now close to 5 a.m., Darryl's girlfriend, Jasmine, started calling his phone multiple times with no answer. Lennell told Brittany to stay there. He had a plan, and then made a phone call before taking Darryl's truck keys. Now on May 26, around 7:30 a.m., Baltimore County police received a call of a truck that looked like it was set on fire on Bay Road, not too far away in Essex. When they arrived, the blaze was out, and to their surprise, human remains were found. Not able to identify the person at the time, they contacted the medical examiner. Around about this same time, Darryl's girlfriend became concerned he didn't come home. She called police and reported he was missing. Usually, it would take 48 hours for them to investigate the claim, but with discovering the body, they asked for more details. She stated the man was in his work truck, and he was a big man, over 6 feet, 200 pounds. She also told them she talked to his cousin. They asked for the young man's name and told Jasmine they would keep her updated. They located Darryl's cousin and asked the man about that night. He informed them they were hanging out, and his cousin told him he was going to see a girl. He told them Brittany's name and showed them a picture from social media. Detectives then was able to get her full name and address. They also noted she drove a Buick that was registered to her. They headed to the apartment and walked into the building to Brittany's door. They smelled the strong odor of bleach and cleaning supplies and saw on the steps what seemed to be blood, but Brittany wasn't home at the time. They knocked on neighbors' doors, and one person claimed they heard tussling at her apartment around 4 in the morning. Another person who worked nights said they came home around 3 a.m. and the cleaning smell wasn't in the hallway. Police sat on the house before eventually a man walked into the building with keys in his hand and a bag. He was stopped and asked what apartment he lived in. He stated he was going to Brittany's apartment as he had the keys. Police asked where she was at. The man, now identified as Lennell, told them he didn't know, and that was his baby mother, and he was coming by to pick up his kids' clothes. Another officer in the area realized a Buick was parked up the street and knew that was the car registered to Brittany. They asked Lennell why did he park so far away before asking could they search his bag. He agreed. Inside was 3 cell phones and other items, and he smelled like bleach. They asked would he come down to the station for questioning, and he also agreed to that. While at the station, they asked about his relationship with Brittany, and which he stated, that's just my baby mother. We on again and off again, but he could come over whenever he wanted to because he had a key. Still not sure whose body it was in the truck, and if everything was connected, police would try to buy time, keeping Lennell there for over 10 hours. Realizing it was serious, he asked for a lawyer. They got a warrant to search Brittany's apartment and the cell phones that Lennell had. With no evidence at the time, they released the man. When they went back to the home, they found blood and the carpet was soaking wet. One of the phones Lennell had that belonged to Brittany showed text messages between her and Darryl, leading to the time he went missing. They finally located the woman, and she stated her and Darryl often spent time together, and that morning she didn't expect her baby father to pop up. She claimed he attacked the man after catching him in bed, cutting Darryl, in which the man stopped moving. That's when she stated Lennell got help from his peoples, carried Darryl to his truck, got her and the kids to leave in the Buick, and drove his body to Essex. It wouldn't take long for police to verify the story. As the autopsy revealed, the remains found, dead unfortunately, belonged to Darryl. A warrant was put out for Lennell, and the same day that Darryl's family held a vigil for the young man, he turned himself in. He was charged with first-degree hit, arson, and other charges. Police got more evidence from local stores that showed Lennell and Brittany buying cleaning solution and towels from a local Goodwill, but she was never charged. As the case made its way to trial, prosecutors painted the situation as a man who didn't want his baby mother to move on, and he would often sneak up on her and snap after finding Darryl in the bed, stabbing the man, then driving him in his company truck to Essex, setting the vehicle on fire. The jury agreed, and in the end, Lennell was found guilty of second-degree murder and sentenced to 50 years in prison. Rest in peace to Darryl. I send my prayers and condolences to his family. I know a lot of people will say he shouldn't have been cheating on his girlfriend and went straight home, but Shorty was a baby, 21 years old. At that age, it's all games. Unfortunately, he didn't know it would cost him his life. Lennell had him by 13 years. He probably was hurt to see his baby mother with a younger man and couldn't handle the fact he was around his kids. Brittany had a man at the house, knowing her baby father had a key. That was dirty. I can't let her off the hook that easily. But I really want to leave this one open. I want to know y'all thoughts on the situation, along with a question. Have you ever dealt with a person with kids who had a baby mother or baby father that couldn't let go, or been to a person's house and it just seemed off, like at any time somebody could pop up? If so, how did you handle the situation? Let me know in the comments. Yeah, man, crazy story. Rest in peace to Darryl. Like I said, I send my prayers and condolences to his family. But I ain't gonna talk too much more about this one. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. Y'all already know it's all love, fam. It's another episode of the Baltimore Way. It's your boy Tony 2 times. I'm out.